Mark Savage here, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to look at three things today: rear wheel bearing, taking the wheel off, taking the caliper off, disc off, and the actual hub itself, and replacing. Wheel arches, all four. Now, I said in my last video, I could have rubbed them down beyond the arch they were, but I'm actually getting plastic covers. I've already prepped the area, so rust treatment, and we're going to be putting on these plastic wheel arches and seeing what it looks like. And also we're going to be completing this service, so plugs, oil, filter and air filter. Now the other day when I did the ignition coils, I first started it and it wasn't running quite right. I think it just had to run its way through. It is running like a dream now. Drove to work this morning, good as gold. But as I said, I want to change them spark plugs and air filter and redo the oil. So you're going to be following me step by step with all these three things. So just a quick update with the parts. Had an email yesterday that parcel force are coming between 5 and 6. They came at 1:30 when I was walking the bloody dog. Go figure. I weren't quite sure what they were actually. Now in the morning I phoned EUROPARTS, because I was angry. And I phoned them and I got the best excuse ever. Our computers are down at the present minute. Really? Great excuse. But he said to me, yes, it's going to take 10 working days, it's all my own fault. I should have noticed a tiny little flashing COVID-19, which is everywhere, explained that they're going to take an exceptionally long time, like 3 weeks. I then got a survey through to say how well they're doing. Yeah, I didn't actually answer that very well. And then I got an email first thing this morning from DHL saying that my parcel's coming today. So fingers crossed, the arches are being delivered by Parcel Force because they can't work out their times of 5 odd hours early. And the arches, so the service kit's coming and that'll be the hub. So all the parts are supposedly on their way. So I'm going to jack it up and get this all off, so ready for it. If it don't come today, I'll just put it all back on and then just wait for them to come. But they said they're definitely coming today, so fingers crossed. I'm going to get on with this and take this off and you'll be able to watch me do it. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. So here's the rubber bit I just put on yesterday. Didn't go too bad, 3N tape. And when I first got it, I had a boot full of water, so now hopefully that will stop that. And I have a boot full of stuff ready to do this little bit on here, the bike. On the bike. And I think it looks quite good. I may still end up spraying this, but you're not going to get cans of spray while we're shut down, because that's not a necessity. I have a boot full of stuff, so hopefully it won't back and forth like I normally am. I should have everything I need. And I even, because it's a wheel bearing, I'm going to use my torque wrench, which I don't often use, but I'm going to find out exactly what it should be. And okay, I've cheated slightly with the part that I'm going to have to go back to the shed and get. I'm using my 19mm spindle to get this wheel bearing nut off, hopefully a bolt off, hopefully it won't snap. If it does, I can shoot up to Halfords and get that. I'll walk. And it is a necessity. Right, let's get on with it. Okay, I'm not going to teach the suck egg to take a wheel off, because everyone can take a wheel off, 5 nuts come off. Once you get that off, screwdriver and a hammer, and just tap this round and this comes off as well. Now, because I'm a little bit worried about this, I'm using a socket from a motorbike spindle, but it fitted. It's a 19mm H. So I decided to see whether I could undo this already. And I could, so I carried on. At the back here, remember, handbrake off, chop the wheels up, leave it in gear. At the back here you've got 2 big bolts. Now I've watched people take this assembly apart. I don't often do that, to be honest with you. I just literally get behind here and I take them off. Now on the front, when the brake was seized, I got the ratchet gun in there and it was actually quite easy and I got it off in seconds. But this is back to your old manual way of having to undo the bolts, you know, they're going to come off eventually, you know what I mean? But normal little, well, that's a bit grindy, isn't it? Come on. This is literally just your normal 19mm. You can get it in there, follow where they are and undo. Remember, you're doing it backwards, so don't tighten and untighten, because that's so often done. You end up really over tightening it and wonder why you've sort of gone wrong. Now, you have to have the handbrake off because you need to get this off. Now, controversially or not, I always get a screwdriver and I always push it, not pushing too much on the disc, and lever these back so I get a bit of movement out of it. Now, this disc itself, there's a little nut here. This sometimes can be hard to do, but here today, well, absolutely piss easy. I think someone was here before when this started to go and didn't bother doing it. Maybe over time it damaged it in the first place, who knows. I found on the paperwork they'd done the front ones, so obviously this might have been going. Now, when I last had it off to investigate, I wadded loads of penetrating fluid in here, so I think that actually helped it a lot as well actually. But anyway, all we need to now is get this little disc off here, this brake caliper itself. So, let's keep going. That's that one. One. I always grease them when I put them back. Now, don't just dangle this when you're finished with it, because the cable will break and it will get all rubbishy and shitty. So what you need to do is be able to rest it somewhere. Some people have little cable ties, you know, like all them pulleys used to have. Elastic things. I sort of made this half myself actually, I must admit. Because I've undone the actual nut that holds the disc on, so it's giving it some. So let me just stop doing that. Not what I wanted to do, but still, disc isn't bad. Can't help give it a clean. There's not much of a lip there. That's good. Do you know what? I think I'm going to leave it sitting there. There's the bolt for that. Can't go wrong sometimes by just putting the bolts back in. And this is the hub itself, the offending item. Morning. And literally. That is a big bolt. Saved myself $5.99 from having to buy a new H19 hex. And there it is. Now, unless I'm mistaken, I don't actually think that is actually supposed to be detached from this. So that shows how bad that was. Unless someone tried to, I don't know, grease it up maybe. But there we go. That is bloody damn sight easier than the old days where you'd have to have pressed all this out. So I am actually really ecstatic with that. As simple as that's bearing. So when the new one comes, I now can pop it on. So made it safe. I've got obviously a jack under here, and I've got a trolley thing that you put the weight on as well. And I've got some wood under here as well, so it's not going to fall down. But now I can sit and wait for the part to come and whack it straight back on again. Pads are good. Give them a clean as well. So when you next come on, we're having a brand new one and popping it back on there. So why am I holding my phone in my hand on hold? And who am I on hold to? EUROPARTS. So after being told yesterday that I'd have to wait 10 days, that's middle of next week, I then get an email saying DHL are coming, and I thought, yay, fucking amazing. They could have told me that, but the computers were down, do you remember that? So then I get the order and I get this little box, and I'm thinking this box seems a little bit light, doesn't it? So 11 days for 4 epoxy spark plugs and an oil filter. And the main thing I want, 0. Ball bearing and the air filter, both out of stock. Meanwhile, I've got my freaking motor halfway up in the air. And now I'm waiting on the phone for 17 minutes now to ask them where the hell it is. Your call is important, but obviously not your products. damn, so what do I do now? Well, now I've got no idea when it's coming. So that's why I'm on the phone to them. If they now say to me, well, don't know, I'm going to have to buy another one somewhere else, aren't I? Because I can't leave it up. I mean, you see this morning that it was actually detached. I'm worried now to put all that back on. I could grease it up, I suppose, but it wouldn't be clever for driving, would it? It really wouldn't. And why would I want to do that? But I'm not going to have it there for 2 weeks or however long they say it's going to be. So, EUROPARTS, you are just shit. You know, why couldn't have told me ages ago that the product's out of stock? I'd seen on some forums, actually, that this is what they're doing. They're selling parts they haven't got, and because of the shortage now, they're not getting them in. Hence, I suppose, EUROPARTS, eh? But it's just bloody annoying now, isn't it? God. So, yeah, I'm going to wait on the phone. I'll let you know if they answer. I'll let you know what I'm going to have to do. Obviously, if they're going to say it's going to be a week and a half or something, I'm going to have to buy another one somewhere else, aren't I? And they said just refuse the delivery, you know, because we'll sit here waiting. Because DHL, when they deliver, they say, we're delivering today. You know, Hermes used to moan about them, but at least they tell you a time. Well, no people tell you a time. Except Royal Mail. Because this is a card from Royal Mail. Because they told me yesterday it delivered between 5 and 6. And they came up 1:50. I checked on my CCTV. And he's got the option there. Leave a neighbour, bring back to depot, drop off at post office. And yet he just took the damn thing away. Couldn't drop it around the back gate. CCTV. So you rejoin me now. Can you see that? 40 minutes. 40 minutes waiting now. Now, on the screen there, GSF, I can pick it up in an hour. £4 odd more. Do you know? Absolutely just rubbish. EUROPARTS, you are shit. 40 minutes now on the phone. No reason why. When I phoned him yesterday, computer's down. I'm waiting for a couple of things to happen now. They'll either now cut me off, say the computers are down. Oh, you've got to listen to where they say that. It's just amazing. What do we get? We get some music. It's the little bit where they say your call's important to us. Is it? You know, I just wish I hadn't jacked the car up now and took it off. I'm not going to put it back on. But I've got to say where it is. Do you know? I mean, otherwise I'm going to have two of them. It might come tomorrow, do you know? I'll get this in an hour, I'll get back on the road again, happy days. It's just bloody annoying when people do that. Especially as you think it's a reputable company. Wait. It's blaring, isn't it? I just want to click yes on there, get off and go and get it. It'll be on the car.
Please hold. The next available agent will be with you shortly. Your call is important to us.
You see, fuck. It can't be important to them, can it? 40 minutes. Even insurance companies don't take that long. That's just annoying. So I've got another 40 minutes I can wait and I can still actually get the part. I know it's locked down, but you need the part in your car, do you know? You've got to get it work. So, after 1 hour, I eventually hung up. So, EUROPARTS, depot, delivery service, customer service, backup sounds, anything, you're just shit. You are just shit. EUROPARTS, just utterly rubbish. I'm sure in the stores they're lovely guys, but you know, they knew that I hadn't got that part ages ago. So why wouldn't they tell me? You know, why wouldn't they have emailed me? They got my email address. I've heard nothing from them. All I got on that bit of paper was to follow. That's not good enough. It's just not good enough. So, shoot up the road. In less time than I was on the phone over an hour, I got this part. Brand spanking new lovely one. And here we go. Much, much better than this, well, piece of crap basically. And this just goes on here. Now, I can't help it. I'm always going to put a little bit of grease. I mean, they're open as well, aren't they? But I mean, that's already stacked with grease. I'm going to put a bit of grease in here as well. And I'm going to get this on here, put it all back together again, and I'm going to be very, 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 very happy. This is the little shield goes on there. Nicely on there like that. There we go. I'll put a bit of grease around that. Now, someone's probably going to tell me this is not a good idea and I shouldn't be doing it, but old school, you know, and I just can't help myself really. I just like to be able to do that. I'll tell you what, this one doesn't go on like the other one did. Maybe that was the problem. So anyway, let me get this on. I'm not paying attention. So it was just a tiny little adjustment. Put the bolt in, tap, and it puts it straight back beautifully. Right, let's gently tighten this up. I have a torque this time. Mentioned it before. I'm not going to just whack this fully on. I'm going to find out the exact Newton torque, foot-pounds, and all that sort of stuff on it. I'll get the basics in there now, just so it's on tight. And there it is there. And that's not rattling like it was before. And there we go. How simple is that? Do I pack in there or not? There's grease in there. It's going to be a sealed unit. I'm going to put some grease in here. Make sure it's definitely clean. You don't want any crap going on there. You see the dust all around here. Can you see this? Dust. This was all in here. I reckon, you know, gone off fielding or something. I don't bloody know. Anyway, I'm just going to crack that one on there now with the right bit on there. Get the disc back on, brakes back on, wheel back on. And this is it. Now, what I did also get, 10 minutes after I left. 10 minutes, they turn up. I would have been out again. So the ship bag came at the wrong time. What is it with deliveries, you know? I just don't like delivering things nowadays. Things being delivered. You know? Did I mention EUROPARTS are shit? Did I mention that? EUROPARTS shit? EUROPARTS are just shit. And let's say, it isn't all the workers that might be. This isn't about all the workers and the branches. This is the delivery side of it, and the customer service side. Anyway, these, I'm going to go over here. Look at that, that hides all of that. Let's have a look. Now, I would have shown you me just putting this back on and that tiny little bolt there, but my very nice neighbours were having a little chat, and unfortunately, this camera now picks up everything everywhere else, sometimes except me. So you'd have heard all their conversation, which I didn't really want you to do, so I decided just to get on with it. Brake caliper, very tight to get on. When I took it off, I obviously took it off with the disc, as you see in the other video. So this time I had to sort of wiggle it in, get a screwdriver and keep leaving them apart. So that's what I've done. But honestly, it's just so easy. Lining the holes up for the actual caliper is probably the hardest thing you've got to do. Other than that, it's just put it all back on. And go for a drive, which I'll be doing later once I've done the spark plugs and the air filter. This is nicely going in now. I did put, a little bit squeaky, I did put a bit of grease on the nuts and stuff like that, and that's fine, look at that. I'm going to wipe a little bit of the old grease I've got on my fingers off of this. I'm going to put it back on, spin the wheel, put the foot on the brake, do that a couple of times, and I'm happy with that. So this is pretty much what I did the other day. That's so easy to get off, that is. And the only thing we're not going to do today is the oil. And that's because I've got to jack the car up. And I've done enough of that today. It's just... Did I mention EUROPARTS? It's just so pissed me off. You know, you don't need it. And it's rude, you know. Just got to pop all these out again. These are probably better ones than what you had in there before. Here they are. There we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put these very nicely over here. Get these rather dirty plugs out of here. it's going to run so much better. You know, I don't know why people let the car get in such a terrible condition. You know, just keep running it and running it and running it until it got to the stage where this, you know, engine management was coming on, and then they cheekily sell it because they can't bother to fix it. You know, I get the car and I fix it. And these are simple fixes, I want them. I mean, that wheel bearing was just unbelievable. I wish, well, there's no more really I could show you, to be honest with you. It was that simple. The torque was a little bit odd. Someone said 200, and someone else in the forum said just finger tighten a bit more. What? I mean, you don't want to over tighten the bearing because you're just going to knacker that one, aren't you? So let's not do that. And do you know what? I just realised I bought NGK plugs, and they sent me Bosch. So out of the 4 things I bought, which was air filter, plugs, oil filter, and the rear wheel bearing, they actually only sent me 1 item that was actually correct, which I'm not going to be using now, which is the oil filter, because I don't want to change the oil filter without changing the oil again. I could have just drained it out because it's new, but I didn't like the idea of that. Now, GSF, German, Swedish and French. I'm glad the French are last. Me and the French don't get along. They gave me an upgraded filter. Thank you so much. Let me get on with popping these plugs in and the air filter in, which I showed you is how easy it really is to do. And I want to get on with the wheel arches. I'm running out of daylight. I cleaned them the other day, but yeah, much better. Let's get a nice clean set of plugs in here. Get the air filter, and I want to listen to what it sounds like. You know, what it goes like. I expected more, if that's not being rude. You know, I expected to go probably a little bit faster than it does. And I am guessing that's because it was in a bit of a sorry state. It's feeling a bit sad for itself. And here we go. Get them all done up. Put these in. Put the air filter in as well. Which, as I said, all the little plugs are in there. I'm going to tighten them up. And just take that off. Now this air filter's not that dirty, so we'll take that off and then put all this back on. So what does it drive like? Not bad at all. Put your foot down and she goes. Perfect song. So I'm actually quite happy with this. There's no noises now, wheel bearing noises, no rubbing, and she just goes lovely. I mean, 5th gear just goes lovely. And there we go, I'm happy with that. And my indicators work as well. Look. Yay. So disappointingly, it's very windy out here today. But these are the arches. They have obviously some nice 3M tape on the back. Now it says in the little picture bit here that you've got little bits of metal and you have to ram them up in the side of the frame, bend them over. It's got fucking horrible. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to rely on this 3M tape and see how it glues onto them. If it doesn't do very well, then I'll add the bits in. But luckily, very nicely, they're all marked up. Now when I first lined them up to the front of my arches, because you've got to understand it, you know, obviously that way, just get it slightly wrong and they don't fit. So you've got to line them up. So pencil, going to sharpen that. Now I've got mud flaps on mine back and front, and I thought about taking them off, but then I realised you wouldn't get this back over, so I'm actually going to cut them. So rather than my normal little bit, I'm going to use one of these and use a nice hacksaw and do it really well so it doesn't look like a shit job. And I'm going to try and do it so I can just push it right up against it. So I'll quickly show you what I'm talking about. Excuse the wind. Basically get the image that it just does that, sticks there like that, and I'm going to cut that bit across here nicely, and this all comes off, so I won't have numbers or nothing on it. But I think, do you know what, that would be an amazing difference. Let's look at the front one quickly, and it will cover a mass amount. You know, I'm really, really impressed how much it will actually cover. I don't think it'll look too bad. So join me in a minute. So join me in a minute and we'll have a look. I can't see this bit under here. Oh, so much dirt, I might have to scrap all that away to see what you're talking about. Trying to get under here and under the framework. Can't see it helping, and I think it will just notice, won't it? So let's have a go. So in this wind, all I can give you is a before. And an after. A before, so you can see all this crap. And an after. Off of here, it's better, isn't it? And it is just by eye. Turns out that my eye's not that bad, is it? Look at that. I'm really good. You just peel off the backing, and you've got some of this on the front, so mark it. It's sticking really well. Where I've cut it, this is slightly loose now, so I'm going to get a little bit of a glue gun and just tack it there. I'm tempted to run a bead of glue all underneath as well, and so far, well, I don't know about these. I might see if I can ram them up just to make it a little bit more safer. Basically, this is, you can see it now, look, this is just stuff like this, just to cut it in lengths, isn't they? So let's get this side on and let's see how good a job this is doing. So you take the top off, and you've got the sticky bit there. You literally just offer it up to where you want to be. Get the centre sorted. Work out the circumference bit there. Then you just push in, because this is the main bit I want at the back. You literally just push it in, keeping the line there. Then rub like a bugger. Now the front here, as you see, isn't quite right, but end of the day, it's near as damn it. Now, just this little bit here, I'm going to tape on a bit of glue. Can you hear it still sticking? So all you've got to do is rub really, really hard. There. Like in the decals, I wouldn't do this on a cold day, but today is just perfect. Just perfect. Now this has got a little bit of bounce to this tape, which means that it will sponge out a little bit, which is perfect for all the little nooks and crannies here. What do you think? Not bad, is it? £50 on 50 odd quid plus delivery, £6 odd. They're from Germany. He doesn't like to say that, but they're nicely, if you look here, they are wrapped round where the bit I got here isn't. So I'm probably going to have to get a little bit of heat glue and just tack it in there, just to make sure it doesn't come off when it gets washed or something, because I mean there's a little bit there. And this tape is just nicely, if you look, it's got a bit of bounce to it. I'm going to keep rubbing it over. I'm not going to wash it. They say don't wash when you put stickers and decals on for 40 hours anyway. So I'm actually really, really happy with that. All I've got to do now is get underneath. There is a Jubilee clip on the exhaust, and it's going ding, ding, ding. It's driving me insane. So there you go, a rear wheel bearing on. There wasn't a lot to it, to be honest with you. I know I said I'd go through it step by step, but with the wind and the noise and everything else around here, it would just be blowing mess. So literally, it's just the wheel off, the brake off, 2 bolts, literally, hub off, and you know, and away you go. Disc and the hub came off of my hand. I'm assuming maybe if one got really jammed on, you'd have some problems. So that fell off, you see that, didn't you? And the other one getting on, just put a bigger socket, tapped it through that a little bit, lovely on. 180 torque I put on there, and about a quarter of a turn more, they said. I couldn't get no more out of it, so I'm happy with that. They're stretch bolts anyway. If I get a little humming noise, maybe, you know, whatever 1,000 miles, I'll panic, and then obviously there. But it goes the rotation the same way as the bolt anyway, so I don't think they're going to come off. And the arches, underneath the arch, stop. They're really good. I'm really impressed. So now I'm going to wash and valet it in 2 days' time. Not now, because I just put the damn things on. A little bit of glue here and there, and I'm happy. What do you think, guys? So there's my little Audi A4 1.8. It ain't bad, is it? Didn't show the inside really, did I? Audi do make nice cars. They really, really do. And the dash is what I call a driver's car. Literally all lights up red and green and all the lights you need to see. The front headlights and the LED running lights are just amazingly bright. The rear seats look lovely. I did have, when I first got it, there you go, that mark there was really deep. And I just smothered it and fed it and fed it. And that one as well. I'm going to do it again today, just so as it brings it out. But lovely half leather interior. Just a last update on bloody EUROPARTS. I got a message this morning saying that the other part may or may not come today. Which part I'm not quite sure about, and whether it's both parts that I'm after. Don't want it. Really, really peed off. Hour odd. I spent another 45 minutes this morning on the phone, wouldn't answer. I went on live chat. I went on that live chat this morning. I was 125th at, well, I mean, I got the missus to do it at 9 while I was on the phone for 35 minutes, and we got down to 70 and it kicked us off. EUROPARTS, get your bloody act together, you're just crap. I'm just glad I got my car on the road without your help, because this wasn't forthcoming. EUROPARTS, there. I'm sure people have had wonderful experiences for them, and I'm sure there's excuses after excuse. Don't want fucking excuses, just want the stuff. Like 12 days and get part orders. Rubbish. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Sorry that EUROPARTS ruined my video for me and getting this beautiful car on the road the way I wanted it to do. Right, just going to jack the car up now, cut that little Jubilee clip off, and I'm happy. Job done. See you later, guys. Take care of yourselves on the road.